Hello and good morning, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to Jay's Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and wow, do we have a lot to talk about this morning because the Toronto Blue Jays are now 2 games to none up on the New York Yankees as they are hoping to take the division series. They are now within 1 game of the American League Division Series title. So, on that note, what the hell happened would be your first questions. And as the Blue Jays mow through everybody and go from this and hearing horrible calls or whatever Yankees feed you happen to be watching, and this team that was deemed the underdog going into this series is quickly flipping the script and showing why the Toronto Blue Jays were the best record in the American League, in addition to this team that they're playing. But as of right now, it's looking like the clear winner might have been the Toronto Blue Jays, regardless of tiebreakers and actual records and stuff like that. So, what happened? Let's start talking with the main story. Phenom pitcher Trey Savage was savage to these New York Yankees yesterday. Through 5 1/3, did not allow a hit. The 22-year-old rookie, who's made now 4 Major League Baseball starts, was phenomenal. Period. There's no other way of saying it. 11 strikeouts, which is a Toronto Blue Jays postseason record. And if it wasn't for Cam Schlittler the other night, literally in New York, it would have been the Major League Baseball rookie postseason record because it would have still broke the at the time 10 strikeouts. So in the last week, Major League Baseball has gotten two brand new youngsters that have taken that crown of 1 and 2 in the record books for the strikeouts, most strikeouts by a rookie pitcher in the postseason. On that note, 5 1/3 picks up his first win in the postseason as well. Only allowed one base runner with a walk, and yes, Trey Savage just was everything as advertised, and he got to see it on the world stage because Blue Jays fans have seen what special this kid can do, and it's been fun to watch. Literally started this season in the lowest of lows, single A, worked his way up through Dunedin to Vancouver, Vancouver to New Hampshire, Buffalo, and then finally to postseason winner with the Toronto Blue Jays. So very, very cool stuff. And we cannot be thankful enough for having somebody like Trey Savage come out of nowhere to help this Major League Ball Club do what they have been doing. But it'd be too easy if the story for Sunday stopped right there. Because this offense went crazy for the Toronto Blue Jays for the youngster. Um, it seemed like something special could have been brewing against Max Fried in the Toronto Blue Jays in the first inning. Um, he got a couple of good hits earlier in that inning, and Blue Jays stranded 2 on, and it just felt like it's like, man, they just missed out on that. I hope that's not how it's going to go today. Well, it was quickly shown in the second inning that was not how the day was going to go because with Dalton Varsho on, Ernie Clement decides to jump into the stage and hits a home run. So the 2 run blast at the time puts the Blue Jays up 2-0 in the second inning, and then they proceeded to pour it on from there. In the third inning, some groundouts, Dalton Varsho's one of Dalton Varsho's 4 extra base hits during the game. He was one shy of being the only player in Major League Baseball to ever have 5 extra base hits in the postseason. So crazy there. That double scored Vlad Jr. after, like I said, Kirk had grounded out to score Davis Schneider. Ernie Clement once again brings in Dalton Varsho on a wonderful single. Varsho motoring around the bases. 5-0 going into the fourth. And we had already chased Max Fried up to this point. The Yankees ace, who had just had an insanely talented performance against the Boston Red Sox earlier this week. So, what's next? Oh, wow. What happens if the bases get loaded and you step Vlad Jr. up to the plate, who has already shown that he is ready for the postseason? Oh, it gets quickly deposited into the seats for a grand slam to put the Blue Jays up 9-0. I found a few things over the course of the last 12 hours or so that the Yankees broadcast radio team for this whole thing was just so defeated with this home run. And it was kind of like almost like a rant at that point because it's like, oh, we're getting beat by a 22-year-old, giving up grand slams to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Maybe that's just how good this team is. I know it sucks. I'd hate to be on the other side of it, but this team is built right now, to quote Trey Savage. And there is that guy. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Matt Boyd. Dalton Varsho would follow that up with another home run, a 2-run blast, scoring Alejandro Kirk, puts the Blue Jays up 11. And then we're just going to keep piling it on from there. A home run from George Springer puts it up 12. The Yankees finally start stepping into this game with a Cody Bellinger home run that gives them a little bit of a pulse. And that puts the Blue Jays up at the time 12-2. Dalton Varsho gets his fourth extra base hit, second home run of the game. That would be the end of the Blue Jays scoring. And then this one actually got me on the edge of my seat because Aaron Judge singles, Cody Bellinger drives in a sac fly, Ben Rice double scores a run, Giancarlo Stanton scores Aaron Judge. It seemed like it was all of a sudden falling off the wheel a little bit with the Blue Jays. I'll say not as talented pieces in our bullpen taking over after Trey Savage. Justin Brule gave up 2 earned runs. Brandon Fisher came in and did a great job. Eric Lauer had a rough spot, but I think he was having trouble getting set into the game a little bit. Tommy Nance would end up giving up 2 earned runs as well. So those two combined for 5 earned runs and only recorded 2 outs in that inning. So it was a little rough all of a sudden in the middle there, but it did level out. The Blue Jays get the win, and they walk away from this one 13-7. Let that sink in. So the bigger question is, what is next? So this team is going to travel to the Bronx today, actually. And they're going to have a day off today on Monday, 10-6. And they're going to eventually roll back into the point where they will play tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock p.m., and they're going to be playing, obviously, the New York Yankees in the Bronx, looking to close out this series. On the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays will be none other than Shane Bieber against Carlos Rodon. This is a pretty good pitching matchup. Rodon has had one of the best seasons in his major league career, 18-9 with 3.09 ERA. He has had troubles over the course of his career with these Toronto Blue Jays, specifically Vlad Guerrero Jr. Shane Bieber, meanwhile, not many of these guys have had a chance to face him, especially this year. It's just one of those pieces that Shane Bieber has almost like a sneak attack after coming back from Tommy John surgery. 4-2 record, 3.57 ERA, 37 strikeouts for Bieber. It's going to be a fun time to hopefully, see what the Blue Jays can do on the road here in the Bronx, because that has always been a notoriously rough spot for them this year against the Yankees. I believe the Yankees are 4-2 against the Blue Jays at playing at home this year. It was something like that. But on that note, this team just really is riding some momentum and some the wave right now. So we'll see what happens. But on that note, thank you very much for listening. Go Blue Jays. And hopefully tomorrow we are talking about a postseason victory. And we'll talk to you soon. Go Jays.